The scene begins with a child, young Bruce Wayne, pounding on a door, his voice trembling as he pleads for his father to open it. But on the other side, there is only silence. The unresponsive weight of his father's limp body is the only thing keeping Bruce trapped inside. Suddenly, a faint noise echoes through the dimly lit room. Bruce turns, drawn by the sound. Out of the shadows, a bat bursts forth with a furious screech, diving straight at him. It latches onto him with terrifying force, its wings thrashing wildly. As if summoned by a signal, a swarm of bats erupts from the darkness, cascading toward him in a frenzy. They engulf him, their wings blotting out the light until the panel is nearly consumed by shadow, save for one detail: the wide, terrified eye of young Bruce Wayne peering out from behind the chaos. We cut to the present. For the past 2 weeks, Batman has been methodically dismantling the party animals' ranks. Every time they plan a major assault, he's already there anticipating it, intercepting it, shutting it down before it spirals out of control. Alfred notes that the surveillance system he installed has paid off. He's able to keep watch and gather intel on both Batman's and the party animals' antics. Later, the party animals' leader, Roman Sionis, has gathered a force inside Gotham's aquarium that could rival a small militia. Their target, Batman. But even when outnumbered, the Dark Knight is never unprepared. As the fight escalates, Batman guides himself toward the massive fish tank behind him. Spikes shoot out from his cape and shatter the glass, sending a wave of salt water flooding across the room. As this is happening, he uses his cape's tendrils to hoist himself above the chaos. Then he drops a concentrated pellet of vinegar into the water below. The chemical reaction creates hydrochloric acid from the saline, a harsh deterrent that forces the party animals to retreat and into the waiting arms of the police force outside to seek medical attention. One even complaining of his toes being completely dissolved. Watching the performance from the comfort of his chair, Alfred chuckles. Alfred continues monitoring Bruce's activity. By day, Bruce Wayne works as an engineer, slipping into a carefully constructed civilian life, but after his shift, he vanishes from the streets. Theories entertain that during these quiet gaps, he's meeting with the Red Hood, a resistance group operating in the shadows. He breaks the routine just once during this stretch of time, paying a solitary visit to Joe Chill, his father's killer. But to Alfred, what's said during this time is unclear. The party animals finally trace Batman's operations to an abandoned building on the edge of Gotham. Convinced they've caught him off guard, they storm the structure, only to be met by a massive explosion. Through the fire and smoke, the crumbling walls and shattered glass have been carved into the unmistakable shape of the Bat's face. It isn't just destruction, it's a message that Batman is the one who holds the reins. Jim Gordon lay in a hospital bed, listening to the news recounting the events of the previous night. Despite the rise in party animal gang activity, public support for Batman remained strong. The former mayor, now campaigning for re-election, publicly criticized the current mayor's leadership, pointing out that the city seems to rely on a masked vigilante to resolve its gang crisis, a fact that had damaged the mayor's already faltering reputation. Inside Gordon's hospital room, a heated debate ensues among the officers on whether Batman's actions were justifiable, but the conversation is cut short by the arrival of Martha Wayne, who had stopped by to check on Gordon's condition. Later that evening, Bruce Wayne made an unexpected appearance at a casual poker night with friends. After taking off his jacket and settling in at the table, the group teases him about his frequent absences. One of the friends, Ed Enigma, immediately examined the mask and identified a chip inside it as a geographical information system used to map shared targets across a GPS network. He suggested that if someone could decode the data, it might reveal the gang's future attack locations, and insists on borrowing the mask to pry further. Very intrigued, another friend, Harvey Dent, offhandedly speculates that former Mayor Hill might have ties to the party animals, noting how his approval ratings had spiked just as their activity began to surge. Bruce took the comment into consideration and later infiltrated Hill's office, picking the lock and accessing his laptop. There, he discovered a mysterious file labeled ARC-M, hidden within a folder titled Gotham. Before he could explore further, every monitor in front of Bruce abruptly lit up, revealing the grinning skull of Roman Sionis on the big screen. He had been expecting Batman, and mentioned wanting to strike a deal. However, Sionis had already tipped off the police, and his people were en route to the building. And the message he made was very clear. Before anything else, survive. On cue, an RPG launches toward Batman, detonating in a burst of flames. He emerges from the chaos unscathed, his silhouette cutting through the haze. Without hesitation, he lunges forward. It quickly cuts to Batman, throwing himself down the elevator shaft, landing atop the elevator car at the bottom. Prying open the hatch, he's met with a familiar face, Alfred. Alfred attempts to reason with him, urging caution. He insists there's more to the party animals than meets the eye. Batman tells him he has about 30 seconds to explain, but Alfred emphasizes that they need to escape and get somewhere safe before anything else can be explained. It's only then does Alfred realize where they are. Bruce slams his foot down on the gas pedal, and Alfred is thrown backward as the interior around him roars to life. They're inside the escape vehicle, the armored Batmobile, secured within the building. The vehicle tears through the structure, concrete and steel crumbling in its wake. With a deafening explosion, it bursts out onto the street. Cop cars are hurled aside on impact, dwarfed by the Batmobile's superior size as it peels onto the road with the police fleeing for cover.